So, back by popular demand, because people couldn't stop posting on my other videos asking for this profile, we have Cian McDonald. And what did you do last week?
I came first place at an OTS in the war chest.
You came, yeah, with branded Predaplant, right?
Yeah, branded Predaplant Despia.
Yeah. So any shout outs, do you remember your rounds? They were like last week.
I'll try. I'll shout out my team Sweetness. Let's go ahead and just straighten the deck for
yeah, that's
and then
fine.
Maybe I'll remember my matchups as I go along.
Yeah, that's great. Let's go for it.
This is Instant Fusion, 1-card combo.
Yeah.
Search Instant Fusion with this.
Yep.
Not much different from before.
Yeah, so when we talked about before, there's actually another profile of Cian's up for branded Predaplant, so take a look at that one too.
Yeah, there's some slight differences.
Yeah, you'll understand the logic though, so that's good.
So these are more
3 Scorpio,
same as
Romarin. So this is Midasunju, Berfolicular, Predaplanting, Romarin, and Cobra.
And then when you search, you can also search this off of the guy.
And put counters on everything, and then put up a Dragonstapelia and like negate everything.
And when you're summoning this, you use it to search the other part of the deck.
Yeah. Or if you're going, is it like turn 2? Do you go for Super Poly or something?
If I have Branded Fusion, I can go for Super Poly or Instant Fusion. Or sometimes if you get awkward hands, you have to go for Super Poly because you can't get access to Brandon Red.
That's fair. Okay, cool.
And then obviously you send this off of Fusion to summon Albion, and Albion sends this, and this grabs you this guy, and then it's like the
oh yeah, combo. Nice. Cool. Very good. And that's the Predaplant side of it, basically, right?
Yep.
Nice.
And then we have Heart and Soul of the deck.
Yeah. Branded Fusion. Don't get it ashed. I actually did one interesting thing, which is usually like you use Instant Fusion to make minimize, right? So so you protect your Branded Fusion from ash, which is quite good.
So then I play
Opening
Aliber, obviously, and I play. This is my kind of.
Yeah, because you were talking a lot about Dramaturge in the last video as well, where it's like it's a better choice, and people forget it negates. So it's good.
And
so
like you just play this if you just open Branded Fusion and you've no way of like getting into your like Predaplant stuff.
Yeah.
You basically play pure Despia with
That's fair.
And then this. I can access both the engines. You can send this to search Aliber, or you can send this to search this guy.
Nice.
And then we have.
It's like the chain. It's like the link or the bridge between the two engines.
That's although it's kind of like the worst starter because you can't.
But if you're stuck, it's like really good.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And then you have.
Albaz,
2 Albaz.
Engine requirements, and also, I mean, it's a good normal summon as well, sometimes.
And then you have Banishment,
which is your searchable Super Poly.
Yeah, this is the one I go.
Including the other searchable Super Poly.
If I'm not doing the Brandon Red,
like
if I actually do the regular combo, I usually set this because this is so much better.
Nice.
You flip it against Tear like I did in the video, and just banish all the things. Summon a Dragonstapelia.
Yeah.
So it's like a removal and an interruption in the form of what you summon.
Especially for Tear, kind of running rampant, it's like really, really powerful.
Yeah, it's insane because
if you like prioritize Dragonstapelia with this deck, you're probably gonna have a good matchup with Tear if you're going first, and even if you're going second, because you have it.
Yeah, it's really.
Unless they can bring out like, specifically Kaleido Heart, they don't have a good chance because you can't fuse with that. That's all.
Yeah. You just Mirage it.
Or that too. Yeah.
So like Kaleido Heart, the other guy, and you just go.
Yeah.
If I do.
It's more so just like in terms of the branded banishments and stuff, you know.
Yeah, and there's like these crazy stuff you can do. Like in the later game, if you're Mirage in Grave or something, let's say they have like Kaleido Heart, like Kid Close or something, and then like another Tier, maybe Merely or something. You can just do this. Summon back the Mirror Jade, banish their 2 guys that you can fuse away for Dragonstapelia, and then go Mirror Jade, banish their Kaleido Heart, and then you also have a Predaplant to negate.
Unreal.
So like this is also pretty good if you get nibbed. And then you also have Super Poly.
Why one? Because you can search it with
I can
either
search
Hunter. Can you search it with Hunter?
No, you can't. You can only search normal spells with this.
Oh, so it's the other one, yeah.
So you search it with this.
Yeah, fair.
And I originally wasn't thinking of playing this, but now before the OTS, I was just doing the test hands and stuff. And sometimes you get
secret as well, gorgeous.
Yeah. And sometimes you get situations where you need it because you can't access banishment because you have to go for like a Libellion line instead of an Albion line. And so you search this, and then you have this and the Predaplanting. So like that's the
nice
fully utilizer. And then Ash is obviously very good against the deck. So you play...
Oh, you're on this stuff, okay?
Yeah. So
I'm assuming you're playing in Ash because you need to cross out something.
Yeah. So we'll go over the
the
stuff.
Nice. Call by entry cross out. Yeah.
So this is this is for going second against Sprite.
Good.
Mainly Sprite.
Is Sprite a bigger fear for this deck than Tear? Then would you say?
See, it depends if Tear ends on Spell Cancel or Eradicator.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's nice just against Sprite because you stop their Toad and then they stop their Elf as well, so they can't negate your Branded Fusion. And you just go Branded Fusion that's bigger than all their monsters.
Yeah, literally. There's no monster. The only way they can get out of it is Pixies. So.
And then Imperm,
okay.
It's just kind of generically useful. You can use it against Collider Heart, you can use it against...
Hit Kikolos and they're dead in the water sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It's insane.
And then Nib, it's really good against like Danger Tearlaments.
And Matmech.
and
Salad.
And apparently this fish deck that I played against
and
today.
This fish deck. Oh yeah. At some stage. So basically Cian, he went undefeated 2 weeks in a row, basically OTS last week and this week, but he didn't win this week.
Yeah, I went undefeated, but the other guy obviously got better
tiebreakers.
So,
yeah,
what can you do?
I got a really cool prize for it.
In fairness, I got it like
salt in the wounds.
I was the first one to get one of those prizes when they were giving out, so like I can't really complain. Also, it's really important that you play at least one light other than Romarian, because sometimes because
I remember you talking about that before.
So like turn 3.
What? Sights, yeah.
Turn 3, after you've gone through your Romarian and done the combo, you need like a light descent, so you can go for Albion and start like pushing with loads of bodies. So like obviously Nib takes up that spot, and then obviously 2 Ash.
Okay, good. So you're not just playing 1 Ash for the cross out. That's good.
No, I was originally playing 3, then I was like, I want to kind of cut down the deck a bit more because like Ash isn't that amazing.
What's your deck count like?
It's 44 at the moment.
Okay.
Like with Sprite out of the way, this will probably be not as good.
Who cares about Sprite, right?
So like, you know,
because of the darker, doesn't do much.
Yeah, probably like mainly these kind of combination might change around a bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like Ash is still kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
And so then we'll move into the extra deck.
Cool.
So I play these 2 tokens. I play them because they look very nice.
They're nice tokens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, I used to play both of these decks, so kind of like a memento in that sense.
That's cool, yeah.
And then I play 3 Albion. You do use 3. Turn 1.
Mirror Jade, yeah.
Turn 1.
You summon it manually, don't you? A lot of
Yeah. So like the turn 1 combo, you summon it and then make Mirror Jade, and then fuse it away, and in the end phase you get its effect, and then in your opponent's turn you use Mirror Jade to send another one. And then turn 3, when you're trying to push for big damage, you go for the 3rd one.
Nice.
And then I play Libellion.
Just the 1? Okay.
Yeah, you don't really need to. Like the extract's a little bit tight, so there's no point in playing like more of them. You don't really go into it unless you're in a situation where you didn't get the Predaplant line. Like you don't have the extra deck monster in grave, so you can't like banish it with this, so you just have to go for this instead. Or if you're going for like basically the pure Despia line, that's another time where useful. Sometimes you might still go for this if you really want to make sure your Grand game's alright, in case you get like the nibbed or something. And then play 2 Mirror Jade. I think it's pretty standard ratio.
Yeah, I think so.
Never really felt like I needed the 3rd one
anymore.
Yeah. And then that's the branded stuff. So then I only play this as Despia stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like cool plays you can do.
Yeah.
Like I did this today actually, where I had this and
that's great, yeah.
So I was in a weird situation where I actually didn't. Yeah, I think it was against Exosister.
Okay.
And I was against the Exosister, and I had like a Despia guy in the field, and I made this, and obviously I couldn't banish this from grave, so instead I just banished things from my field to make this, and just like beat over the stuff. And then I think they added this at some stage, So this is like in the grave.
Yep.
And then I set this off of the Albion, and I think they made like a play, and I activated this chain link 1 to target this, and then chained this so that I could make Mirror Jade, and they now have an opportunity like to super poly like this, which is kind of useful.
Okay.
So like if they're super poly, they have to super poly the Mirror Jade, so and then they lose their board during end phase. So like it puts them like in a pretty good position because it's a quick effect, so you might as well make use of it. And then one Guardian Chimera. Not much needs to be said. I only need one of this build
because it's only like it's literally branded red, maybe the Predaplant.
Yeah, I normally go. I don't really normally summon off a branded red. I normally summon off the Predaplant.
Yeah.
Like turn 3 when I'm making the push, I normally go for it and just like pop all their stuff, get some draws, that kind of thing.
Nice.
And I normally will have a guy in hand if I use Predaplanting, because I'll have I've sent to level. I might have sent to level 1 and then search the monster. Then that gives you a monster to use in the hand, because it's easy to get like guys in the field because the level 1 comes back. So that's like 1 in the hand, 1 in the field, and I just need another one, so it's like pretty easy to make. Cool. And I already have the scale set up. And then this is for the Ash. So certain lines, if you open up like some way of getting branded fusion, and then you have
if you go keeper, you search for anything that searches instant fusion.
Yeah, you can do that as well, but normally the play is you summon this, you send the monster, summon the level 2, fuse them away to make this lad.
Yeah.
And then do the combo that way, and then when you summon the level 3 Darning Cobra, you search instant fusion instead of branded fusion, because you already have branded fusion.
Yeah. And
then you activate instant fusion, summon at this guy, activate this. They can ash you, but you can just use this target ash equip, and then it's negated. It's also, this is normally best to go for if you have branded opening engraved.
Okay.
Because you can protect it during end phase and it just sticks there and it's an interruption.
Oh yeah, because you did that. Yeah.
And then this card, it's really good. I was playing against a teammate of mine who happened to not know what it did at the OTS. He was like, oh, so what does this do? I was like, okay, so it's a Stratos and a Lone Fire in one card.
Okay.
And it can be summoned off instant fusion.
What?
I read it again. I was like, "What? That's insane!"
Yeah.
It's really good.
That's very good.
And the fact that Tribute itself gets the extract monster engraved, so you can go Albion, banish the extract monster.
I remember because it's the cleanest way to make Mirror Jade. You're not wasting your monster on the field.
Super efficient.
Yeah.
And then you play 2 Dragonstapelia. You need to play 2 because your end board consists of 1, and then it's the most generic one you play that actually does something.
Yeah.
So like you normally summon this one off banishment.
Nice.
So like you might use like one of these.
Wait, why are you on commons? You gave me an ultra.
I know. I'm downgrading.
Oh my god.
I'd rather have money than expensive cards.
Yeah, fine, fair. Yeah, that's true.
I don't need expensive cards to win.
You heard it here, kids.
So yeah, like this is the most generic one. Like you can use like a Mirror Jade you already used, or like a Dragonstapelia you already used, and then like the dark like gigantic Sprite, or like Tearlament guys. So like
it's the dark,
it's really easy to make. And then like change the level, it comes up a lot. Like even if you're not negating, you can just change it to like level 1. They can't use it for Exceed materials, so like it dumps on Exceed decks a lot.
Yeah. Murder Sprite.
And then this is the other one you can grow into, but like
you're uncertain. Like
sometimes if you're in a really pinch, like you might summon this off banishment, and then like if they attack it, they'll lose their board. So you have to like
which is good.
Yeah, and then also another thing that people don't realize with the card is you can also summon it against your opponent, and let's say they already used their Barone, you can use this to target their Barone, and then he has a negate now. And a pop.
Oh, it's an easy effect as well. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, very some very spicy things you can do with this.
That's a good card.
It has a lot of creativity.
I actually forgot. That's insane. That's actually class. Nice.
And then I played this.
Well, you played this. I remember you showing this last time.
Yeah, so this one, it's mainly just for evenly, because a lot of people are playing evenly.
Maybe for tier, I suppose.
Yeah, because like the deck doesn't have any like Omni negates. This is the only Omni negate.
Okay.
So like if I have the standard setup of the hopefully that focuses.
I'm hoping to so too.
It really isn't, is it? It's breaking my heart.
No, it's not.
Right, okay, whatever.
You focus on the text.
I'll put a picture up on it, I think. No, I'll do it, I'll figure it out.
So yeah, like...
I'll edit this to actually put in the card, I guess.
Basically, like, I'll normally the standard setup would be like, on the board will be like a Mirror Jade, like a Dragonstapelia, along with like, let's see now, a Banishment.
Oh yeah.
And then like the trap. So like
this is all the stuff you have to play through.
Yeah, this is the normal.
That's the normal setup.
Standard setup.
Not the best setup.
Standard setup.
Standards. Like
if it's really broken, you'll have like maybe this and a Super Poly as well, or like a Masquerade as well.
Must be nice.
like I did against poor Mungo in that video.
Poor Mungo.
So
had an Eradicator set, didn't even use it.
Didn't need it.
Didn't need it.
So like normally this board obviously can lose to evenly, but if they go into battle, because I play this card, I can just flip up the Banishment, like summon out this, banish like one of these, whichever, and then make this guy, and then after that I use this to put a counter on all the monster field, so now this guy can negate.
Oh, okay, very good.
Another like kind of nutty thing you can do is if you have these two on board, you can negate their monster, and then they activate, let's say like talent or something. You use this to tribute their monster to negate their talents. Tribute their monster to negate their talents.
Yeah, because they've got the counter on it.
Yeah, and like this puts counter of all of them. So like if you use it, it can be really nice against trap decks, just like negating all their like stuff. Also, if he dies, he revives a dark, so I can summon back Mirror Jade or Dragonstapelia.
Well.
And then the last card I play is this.
Oh, this boy.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to hold this up because it's
very spicy.
So this thing, Gatling Ghoul. So 1 Performer Pal plus 1 level 5 or higher dark. If this card is fusion summoned, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card in the field. Then if this card was fusion summoned using a Pendulum monster as material, destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage equal to that monster's original attack. And it's not an instant fusion target.
No, definitely.
So
clearly not.
No. That's an interesting tech card.
So like basically.
So moving on to side deck.
So if you're like against Dynamorphia or something, and like you need to just finish them off.
Yeah, that's true.
It can come in some scenarios like that.
Our OTS had, I think, 3.
Like you can summon it against them and like burn them for like.
Burn them for, what is it, 200 for each monster, is it?
2 each card you have in the field.
Okay, so that's actually probably more than most things.
It's a pretty nice combo, so you can actually, all you need for the combo is just 1 Branded Fusion.
Because you go Branded Fusion into, oh yeah, you'll show that it's inside.
Yeah, I'll show you the card that I use for it, but you just need 1 Branded Fusion and you're able to make this by itself and then do 200.
Nice.
And then we move into the side deck. I wanted to play some cards for Sprite, so I have this kind of lineup mainly.
Okay, big boys that can beat over anything.
Yeah, so obviously like this is pretty generic and going against a lot of things, but like these together are typically against Sprites, so like you obviously summon them, and then like depending on how they play it out, whether or not they run pixies and stuff like that, you could like bounce some of their guys, beat over their toads. It can kind of like, depending on how it works out, you can potentially clear their board with one of these.
Yeah.
So like obviously then you clear the board and then you go Branded Fusion and in a really bad position.
Yeah. True, very true.
And then for just Backrow decks, I have 3 Cosmic.
Yep.
And then these cards.
2 evenly in a red reverse. Oh, so close to being legal for it. So close to being legal in the new format.
You can kind of guess.
You can take 1 card.
Yeah, you can kind of guess what's going to happen in the new format.
Yeah, it's to be 3 evenly instead of 3 reboot, or instead of reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, the only reason I'm playing 2 evenly as opposed to 3 is because, like, it's kind of the weakest in the side, like in terms of like.
Yeah.
Slots.
I suppose it does, because it doesn't make sense. Like, it's definitely for back row decks because it doesn't make sense with this one. Where this one is, you're trying to do your battle phase. Yeah. While this one is you're hoping to keep your battle phase for just.
Yeah, and like sometimes you can like. Sometimes I find myself siding against Tier or even Sprite sometimes, depending on like what they're playing and stuff like that, because it baits out their Toad, and then from there you can activate Branded Fusion and you're in a decent position. And then against, like, if you get spell cancelled, you just don't use a spell, use a trap to wipe their board.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually a good point.
So that can be kind of useful.
Spell cancel comes up a lot.
And I don't play Twister, I play Cosmic instead, because if I target their Mystic Mind, they're playing a Runic deck, they can't go Hugin to protect.
Oh, yeah, because it vanishes,
Yeah. And if they have the other guy, I can just clear that away with Albaz or something.
Yeah, I think Cosmic's definitely more common now with the Runics in play, so...
Exactly. This is like, it's against trap decks, but I can sometimes just decide it generically, just because to stop D-Barrier.
Just to start D-Barrier.
And stop Eradicator as
fusions,
well.
Yeah.
Eradicator as well is what I'd started in against.
Yeah,
so like, these kind of cards would go in against tier.
Which is why it should have been put to 3, not 0.
Yeah. And then for going, like, also sometimes for going second, obviously it depends on the deck. But I play Eradicator for like Tearlaments, so I keep them cross out and then just have this as well. So if they're going for the Eradicator line as opposed to the spell cancel line, which I think is the Eradicator build is more popular.
I think so right now, yeah.
So I'll put it.
You need it because without snow, it's harder to get to the Dugaras.
Yeah. So like you'd
with Lunalight, I would say probably spell cancel is more popular.
Yeah. So you just go like cross out, call Eradicator, and then you're able to play. And like, but the funny thing is, I played as a crossout target. I never drew crossout for it because I never actually got Eradicator the OTS. But what I did do,
Eradicator,
I hard drew the one-off for some reason.
Yeah, twice.
So,
you did it twice.
I think I did it like 3 times actually.
You did it because you did it in. You did it in the second last round.
Yeah, it was stuck to
You
my
Eradicated after he'd used the Slifer thing.
Yeah.
To put Monster Reborn back.
To pop the Monster
Reborn. And then he set Monster Reborn, and then you went Eradicator.
Yeah, it was a misplay not doing it straight away, but yeah.
It's fine.
It worked out in the end.
Never punished.
Yeah, well, I wasn't meant to draw it a couple of times, so I had to kind of consider what line do I go for with drawing Eradicator. So, like, do I end on Albion? Do I end on this? So it was a bit annoying, honestly, because a lot of times I didn't really need it. Like,
I think the board you build is kind of like, if you're going first, you don't need it.
Yeah, and then the other crossout target I side is D-Barrier.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
That's fair. Considering you play only fusions.
Yeah,
the whole deck
literally only fusions. And then
no sight, no. What? Not afraid of sight.
No.
Okay.
No, you just go opening in standby phase or draw phase even, and then you just go, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then the other cards outside in like combination of this against tier.
Yeah.
Like obviously crossout staying in, and then also siding these against tier.
Oh my god, he has the shifters in this deck. Let's go. I'm a big fan of this card.
Yeah, I didn't draw it once, unfortunately, but apparently I didn't need it.
That's fine.
But yeah, he went in against Tearlament every time. Because basically I've thought about the combos, and really the only way this kind of stops you is if like you're going for Cobra, because a Cobra needs to send a monster from hand to grave in order to summon a thing from deck, so it stops Cobra, but all the other
stop anything else, man. It just makes the rebellion way more powerful, actually.
Yeah, like the keepers, the instant fusion, like even using this to summon, it doesn't get stopped by the shifter. And then like obviously if you open like any of these, just go regular branded, and regular branded can obviously play with shifter.
Yeah, they can.
Because tragedy gets banished and it triggers its effect.
Yep.
And like a funny thing as well, I'm sure people probably know this by now, but like if you're under shifter and you have tragedy, you can crash your tragedy and get its effect.
Oh,
because it's banished by this effect.
Nice. Yeah, very good.
And then
it's banished by card effect. Yeah. Okay.
For that funny fusion monster I played.
Oh, so this is for Gatling Ghoul. Corn. It's a light monster. It's not a pendulum monster, so you don't get the second effect.
Yeah,
but you get the first effect, which is the 200s.
I don't really use it for removal. I usually just like.
It's also a Beast Warrior, which I'm not sure is relevant. You can search by Tenki.
See, the reason there's so many. I was trying to figure out if there's like. And I was like, okay.
I love it from philosophically from the research point of view.
Yeah, so like it requires. I think you might have went over this already, but it requires level 5 or higher dark and Performer Pal. So like it's easy getting a level 5 or higher dark. The only difficult part is Performer Pal, so I had to try and find a Performer Pal that fit the deck the most.
Yeah, and this is the light one.
The final contenders were this I think it was Trump Witch that can search like
Oh, that can search poly.
Yeah, I can search like. I think it also has a fusion effect when it's on the field.
Yeah.
So like I was considering that, and then also this, and there's also like another pendulum one.
Yeah.
That's
but I think it makes more sense to search for the light because you play more Albions than you play Indefatigable.
Yeah, because I was thinking like. If I want to go with just like so the combo basically is I go I activate my branded fusion, and I send like a light target and Albaz, and then I summon out Albion, and then I use Albion effect. Albion's dark, by the way.
Yeah.
So you can like
dark, so you can use himself and
you banish the performer pile on the Albion to summon this kind of burst.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have like. A light because it's like this is the most efficient way because like obviously Libellion is light, not dark, so you can't actually use it as the material. So I figured having a light would be like the most effective way of doing it. And the reason I picked this over the pendulum ones because I didn't really want to use this removal because like I'm not going to side this in if there's like if I'm just trying to break boards or whatever. So like the reason I went with this particular one is because it actually has an effect that's relevant.
What's the effect? Hang on. What's the effect? If this card is normal or special summon,
it's a last effect.
Let me see. I'll just skip it to the bottom. You banish one performer pile monster and this card gain. It gains life points as well. Oh my god, dude.
So it normally doesn't come up. Normally you just banish this on the Albion and you make this. But in weird situations where you get unlucky and you draw this, you can actually use the this guy, and like if you have like this guy or the ambulance guy,
it's like, oh no, I drew the break anyways.
If you have either of these on the field, you can just do this, fuse away whatever, and then like make this, and let's say they go gamma negate. They're like, whoa, that was a close one. Then these go to grave, and you're like, okay. I'll use the effect to banish and gain life.
Oh my god. Okay. Watch all of it.
I think I remember the matchups now actually. so round one.
We're aiming for an hour-long video here.
So round one, I went against Predaplant Despia. He's playing the sight lock.
With branded expulsion.
I actually was able to play through the sight lock. Because like if they can't kill you after that, it's not really much use.
Yeah, true.
And then the second round, I played against Sprite. He actually bricked both games. So like I had my sides and all, but it didn't even come up because I just did my combo and won.
Yeah.
He had like just it was really unfortunate. And we actually played like a third game after just for like fun.
Yeah.
And he bricked again in the third game.
Sprite, the most consistent deck. Like, come on.
And I even played against it today, and he bricked as well. I won the games. But yeah, they're bricking a lot harder now after the ban.
Oh man, sad. R.I.P. Ronan in chat, please.
And then round 3, I went against my teammate Ben Aruligan, and he's playing Sword Soul going second.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about the OTS back. Oh my god, you remember the matches from last week? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Sword Soul Ben, yeah.
So the thing is, he was like testing the deck, he's basically like a similar list he's playing to Nats, so he's familiar with like the Despia stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd shown the lads this like special Predaplant combo when we were on holidays.
Yeah.
But he obviously wasn't paying attention. So when I played against him, he was like, "Yeah, you go first." And I set up like the really, really crazy board. And he was like, "Shit, I made my deck for going second, but I can't even out this. Even though I play like all these going second cards like Droplet and whatever." And like it's mainly the like this card like just wrecks Sword Soul like so hard. It's not even funny.
Yeah, Predaplant plus Dragonstapelia, they're dead. Like
like if you have like the Dragonstapelia in the field, they go they have like
it's like nice level 1 tokens.
Yeah, they go like Mo Yi, you're like, yeah, no.
More like no Yi.
No, yeah. And so like again, when he lost the first one after like I went first, he actually, even though he's playing going second deck, he was like, this deck is too strong, I'm gonna go first.
Nice.
And then after that I played against I believe it was
It would have been the Danger Tier, wouldn't it?
It was Ross playing.
Ross Danger Tier,
which I think he's also been featured on this channel as well.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
that was where a lot of the comments for where's the Predaplant were coming from.
Yeah. So if you're wondering what one of his losses was, it was this deck.
Yeah.
So like I won that one, and then the final round I played against my teammate Mongo, and that's all captured on video.
It's all captured on video.
So no need to. Actually, one thing I will say is I think it is cut out because of the the sound you did. So like in the last
because I went double speed as well.
Yeah, so like towards the end, I believe he had Hovness in hand, and I had Dragonstapelia and the planning set.
Yeah.
And obviously he used an effect, like I think it was like Charmer or something.
Yeah.
So I used planning instead of Dragonstapelia because I didn't want to trigger Hovness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like that's.
So there's like in-depth plays that I don't know about that were.
Yeah, so that's just
nice.
like that's a little footnote.
There you go.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much for your time.
No worries.
Woo woo.